motorboat. Life is but a dream.
Marshmallows!
Merrily, 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 merrily. Life is but a dream. Yes, welcome back, guys. In case you guys didn't know, there was a really awesome video released yesterday by OTOY in the Roddenberry Archive. I shared the link up in the chat there, so if you want to check it out, it's also in the description of this video, because it's not searchable, really, which is weird. But yeah, check it out. It's 10 minutes long, but it's actually only 8 minutes long, because there's a lot of credits. So, but it's worth it. It's worth checking out if you're a true Trek fan. It's something that is amazing, and we're going to talk about it today. Talk about some of the implications of what it could mean and what it does mean, and just have some fun. Good discussion. We want to hear from you guys. So,
and we did vote this versus another topic, so hopefully you guys are going to be zazzed. Pretty special stuff.
All right. So, first of all, show of hands in the chat. Who's seen the video? Also, hit like. 39 people here and 19 likes. Let's get those likes up. We can get easily 40 likes right now. Just hit that like button. Easiest way to interact with the channel. And yeah.
And a lovely old spiel, and then the Twitter says it's too long. It's like, great, thanks. The compressed version. Okay, there we go. Okay, right, there we go. It's out. It's out. Hi, Stuart. How you doing today?
I'm doing well. And Dan says, does it really mean anything if it's not canon, but you can still enjoy it? But yes, it could be people's headcanon. Plus, it's also officially licensed and endorsed by Paramount, so it is pretty close to being canon.
Well, I mean, it's not canon in any way meaningfully, but it's canon that it's people officially making it. It's one of those weird things like Roddenberry. For a long while, it felt like they're just doing fan film stuff, and then it's like, oh, I guess it is licensed. They're paying CBS. It's funny, a CGI company is paying CBS to make Star Trek non-profitable work, but it's a brand that everyone loves, etc. So it's a big thing. But yeah, no, fully licensed. I mean, as much as Star Trek Online is canon, as much as Who Brings Back the Original Actors, as much as the books are canon, who may have had influence by the writers, there's something there, and it's a bit cooler in that regard because it's as you can see, triple Kirk, triple threat. So it's now no actual Shatner, of course. I think I was expecting a bit of voiceover from him that was new because they had some old.
He was an executive producer on it, so he did have input for sure.
Yeah. But that would have really elevated it, I think, to actually have new voiceover.
I was hoping for some new dialogue in it, but
so I skimmed and I saw his credit at the end. I thought, oh, there's gonna be some voiceover because that's the way you can have Shatner be first billing. And he didn't. It's all stock. So, but it breaks the immersion. If it's like, well, that's clearly the old Shatner. The whole point was immersion, right? So if you have that's 90-year-old Shatner, not 65-year-old Shatner. Okay, fine, right?
Plus, it's a very dreamlike sequence, so I'm fine with no talking. The facial expressions from Kirk are spot on. They're so subtle, and they definitely invoke Kirk. And it's great to see Shatner back as the Kirk, Well,
Sam Witwer as Shatner as Kirk.
But yes, but it's still Shatner that we see, so.
You know what I mean? Layers of performance.
Yes.
But yes, guys, super chat your thoughts, comments, questions, and what would you give this out of 10? I'm starting with the score because I'm interested to see who. But first of all, who saw it? You have to score if you saw it. And the other big question is, how did it make you feel? Gonna Star Trek 3 it. How did it make you feel? But people said some things. Let's see what people said. I want to know.
Yeah, so like he said, super chat in, guys. It'd be cool if the people at OTOY could see the appreciation for this kind of stuff. I'm surprised this isn't a searchable public link, really. It's all social media. You got to go check it out there, kind of thing. You can't really look it up on YouTube. I did share the link in the chat again, so check it out if you haven't. But super chats are important because if anybody from OTOY does happen to scroll on through and look at the super chats will stand out. So we want to give them the love that they need because we want to see more of this kind of thing. So Mark Lawrence throws in $5. Just a little bump to get started. Wait, that sounds wrong. No, it's perfect. Not a bad account, $2. This proves we need Captain Kirk resurrected. Yeah, like the Shatnerverse books. Schmo Buddy, $5. OTOY Roddenberry Archive. And that whole team are the heroes the franchise desperately needs. Absolutely. And Not a Band Account throws in $2. Kirk shouldn't stay dead from a falling bridge. Sure thing.
I have a very different sort of poll in the chat, because I'm intrigued what this has generated for the audience, the Trek fandom. This is damn unique.
Yeah, so go vote on the poll. Would you pay for OTOY to make more short films like this, supporting new regular content? I'd do a subscription, $20 a month. I'd do a subscription, $5 a month. I'd buy a set one time, or I'd buy a set one time, 50 and 25. Yeah.
Yeah. Not exactly like a Patreon, but like a I said years ago. Imagine if CBS or whatever it was at the time had a, if you pay $15 a month, then this many subscribers will remaster TNG or DS9, like a literal put your money where your interest is, because then it builds the buffer of the budget. Sorry, so if OTOY had a, if 10,000 fans like a subscription, like I said, you're promised 4 new shorts a year for 10 a month, whatever. And it's new Shatner and new Nimoy and new Cage and like something like at this level, would people actually care enough to have it be made to kind of bypass the CBS side of things for like all access, just a general bit of money? Would you? I'd like it was free, but a $5 is not going to help in any meaningful way. But are you enough of a fan, or would you actually say fuck it? Or would you like buy a Blu-ray set kind of thing? I just interested to see.
I would.
Well, exactly, yeah, so would I. I feel like I'd probably both, to be honest. If it was this quality and, say, 4 or 5 times a year, right? Don't know what to make. Yeah.
And Matthew Shook says, hi, is that a Riemann that handed Kirk the badge? No, that's Yor. He is in Discovery. He's from the Kelvin TNG future.
Yes.
Yes.
And he's full CG, apparently.
Yeah.
It was probably easier than makeup, ironically. Hell of a makeup to do.
Yeah.
Madness.
William J. Hasbro does something similar with its HasLab and special projects. Yeah. I just got the HasLab G.I. Joe Dragonfly helicopter that I backed 2 years ago. Just did a video on it, which you guys will see this Friday. So, yeah.
Was that good? Is that what you expected?
Oh, yeah. It's amazing. Yeah, but doing crowdfunding things like that for the true fans that really want to put the money in, I think is awesome. And yeah, amazing. So
I don't want to call it crowdfunding, because I don't think I can do crowdfunding for this sort of thing. But a subscription service model. It's very similar, but yeah. I don't know what you guys think. Do you vote on that?
And Ray Ricks throws in £5. So great, totally in my headcanon. Only thing missing was a sound bite from the end of Wrath of Khan. You have been and never shall be my friend. Yeah.
Yeah, it was definitely on the minimalist side. That was definitely
which worked for this one. I liked this dreamlike sequence, and it definitely hit a lot of people in the feels. I saw a lot of people saying that they were crying, and
that's what I want to get to in a minute for sure. But it's one of the things where they're pushing technology to its limit. So anything you don't do is actually a benefit. If you had my dad, I showed my parents, and my dad said, "I wish Kirk spoke," but of course, he thought that doing a voice was easier. But it's not even the voice, it's the lip syncing, because you can tell if the lip sync's wrong. And then all the inflections from the lips have to match the words. You can do faces, but as soon as you connect the two, it's not as easy as do a voice. It's all of the in-between. Animated films can do it, but they're animated. This is meant to be for real. So by not doing they've stripped out all things they can't do effectively, for the most part, to do things effectively.
Yeah, and there are ways around that. You could have a voiceover with the back of the head, or like a over-the-shoulder shot.
Yes.
And technology is always improving. Like, this is so much better than stuff we've seen a few years ago. So who knows what's going to happen in another 5 years? It might have perfect voice synthesis and lip syncing.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you can clone many people nowadays. So, and they obviously had all the licenses and all the families to do everything in here. So they've obviously got Nimoy's likeness fully paid off and licensed. So had they also got his voice, they could have had a voiceover from Nimoy. They just didn't want to, right? But they could have. All the tech is there to do it in some form. 100%. No problem. You could do it. Just might not be up to the same level.
And the Silent Empyrean Frost says OTOY put out a conversation with Shatner 43 minutes ago. I'll have to go take a look at later. Haven't watched that yet.
Yeah, they put out a few videos, but they're all unlisted, so it's kind of like on their website you can find them. But yeah, I watched that last night in bed. Is it official now? Yeah, I saw it yesterday at like.
Oh.
Yeah, I saw, and they got George Takei for some reason, and
Robin Curtis.
Yes. Oh, that was right. Okay, cool. Gave me. Although it's amazing, and I'll show you the OTOY stuff. There's so much that's on the website. There's nowhere in the short. I mean, almost most of it isn't in the short. I'm kind of confused how much. It's almost as if they decided to. I'll go on to our thoughts. There's so much stuff that I'm assuming there'll be more content. I guess you don't build, Kirk prosthetics without more than one use. But there's so much stuff that I'm confused because this all looks far more exciting than the actual piece.
Well, I think they're all teasers leading up to something because there's like little. First of all, the title 865-874 Unification. That's got to mean something. I think it's a lead up. Plus, we also got Yeoman Colt in this, as well as Gary Mitchell.
For some reason.
Yeah, like hopefully there's an explanation to all this at some point. Like these seem like really good teasers leading up to something else.
Well, I mean, this feels like it's been shown as the final entity. Like we had the 4 teasers, or 3 teasers. This feels like the thing on Generations Day. It feels like a complete piece. I'm kind of so I'm very intrigued because, like I say, there's loads of art here which is nowhere to be seen. I'm so that's more exciting in a way. But Stuart, the question: what do you think of OTOY Season 1, Episode 5, Unification?
It's friggin' great, man. I absolutely loved it. I was waiting for a little bit more of new dialogue, like I said earlier, but it wasn't needed in the long run. It just was fantastic to see Shatner as Kirk. I know it's not Shatner as Kirk, but you know what I mean. And to see the different iterations of him, yeah, like it didn't bring a tear to my eye. It almost did, but it was very touching to see, and I want to see more of this kind of thing because it's like watching older Trek, kind of what we look for from Lower Decks and stuff, seeing like legacy characters and whatnot. So yeah, what did you think?
But Stuart, shouldn't they just recast like with Luke Skywalker, because seeing Sebastian, whatever his name is, as Luke would be just as impressive as seeing, and as emotive as seeing de-aged Luke, Mark Hamill face double in Mandalorian. Let our old actors go. Don't have to use their faces. Use new actors to play the characters.
I get the argument for that, but I also see the huge argument against that and actually using their faces, because it invokes something in you that you don't necessarily get with a new actor. So I don't know. There's lots of possibility to make new stuff with old actors because those are the characters. Just
have to sign their likenesses away and be used as CGI. Whatever's. Yeah. The only other thing about that brief thing is that had this short been the other people who survive as these characters, had it been Zachary Quinto, say, as old Spock, who's obviously closer than Ethan Peck, and I mean maybe the current guy is, any other actors, I'd feel almost nothing if this was those actors playing these characters. I would get a little bit of a cool, wow, Ethan, or the guy from 09, Kirk. Chris Pine.
Chris Pine. Yeah.
If Chris Pine had been made to look like an older Shatner in Wrath of Khan, I'd be like, okay, cool. But it wouldn't be any emotive connection. This had all the emotions because you're seeing the truth, right? The real, even though it's literally fake. This is the truth of what we've known for our entire lives. And this has been in my head for a day. I'm talking through this for the first time. How does that resonate with you? That sort of interesting side note.
Summarize it, because I was reading comments.
Oh, fair enough. Yeah, if this had been Jesus, I forgot his name again.
Sam what?
Nope, first guy.
Oh, Chris Pine.
Yeah, if it was Chris Pine in the Wrath of Khan uniform, I would have felt nothing. It would have been cool for a second, but I would have felt nothing in those scenes if it had just been the other Kirk. So because of the faces of the original people, it has a truth to it
Yeah.
Even though it's a fakery of not being a real face, the truth of the character is being presented, so it feels more real and it's more fake than being just. How do you feel now? I've sort of said that again.
No, that's exactly what I was trying to say with what I said. Just having this Shatner back was great. Yes, it does resonate a lot more. It's a more emotional. I get the storytelling idea of using another actor to portray somebody else or whatever. That's fine.
Or to talk.
Yeah, I mean, and the point is, I mean, you're gonna need actors to still do a lot of the main parts here. So those actors kind of carry it on in a way, even though their face is replaced. So it's not putting actors out of work necessarily, but it's also looking after if you want to, let's say in 10 years, you can just do it all digitally and you can't even tell. So you could have William Shatner, then his estate, his family gets the proceeds and stuff. Like it's actually a great thing, right? But you're right. It's the emotional impact of seeing the actual person that works and is what makes these so special.
And it's interesting because this short was incredibly respectful, and people like this who do something, bring back, long since aged out people, feels wonderful. But of course, if that's Kurtzman with Akiva Goldsman for 09 brought back a CGI Kirk with bad lines with that after Kirk had been too old, and in a bad way, you instantly start hurting. Which of course they did with Picard in season 1 of Picard, right? Like it's so easy to do that as well. So it's all about the writer but as soon as you open the door to bring back dead actors, you can easily hurt their legacy. But and to control it to be just like this is so difficult. So that's what we're going to get in the next 20 years of like. Well, I mean, didn't hurt the original Superman's legacy of being back in the Flash, but no one liked it.
I liked seeing him. It just wasn't the best CGI, right?
Yeah, it wasn't good. Like, it didn't feel much for it, 'cause it wasn't really like that's not him. It doesn't look like him really. It's not well done. It's not, But you could...
It gave me the sting though. It gave me what they wanted to invoke with it.
Well, yeah. You
got the Superman music, and you saw his face, and just for a second, you're like, "Oh my god!"
Yeah, you're playing a video game, which is cool, but it's not. Anyway,
yeah,
but there's a different vibe. This is obviously a bit more high end, which is funny. It's not
a
how many $1 million company? Like I'd love to know the budget of this. It's got to be $1 million or more.
Yeah,
but I'd love to know the budget.
Well, 96 people watching, which is great. Thank you, guys. 57 likes. Awesome. But we want to hear from all of you what you thought about this. Please super chat in. Please hit the like button. We do have a few more super chats, which I'll get to right now.
And guys, 102 of you, come to the lives of Lower Decks. Be interested in that stuff because it's really fun content. And our other ranking lives. There's so many of you. Join in those. We're always here every week.
Yes, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Do all the things. Schmo Buddy, $2. Great to see and have Robin Curtis reprise her role. 100%, yes. Ray Ricks, £5. According to some of the notes, 765874 is the Starfleet serial number of Yeoman Colt from the Star Trek comics. Well, she's made an appearance in quite a few of these OTOY things, so I want to know that tie-in, though. Schmo Buddy, $5. The still pictures in the archives are bonkers. That image of Eric's. Yeah, I'd pay good money for a full animated series upgrade transfer. 100%, yes. That'd be incredible if they could do like the animated series just redone with like quote unquote live action.
Or even make it full CG and then do the AI tech to redo the faces to be more more correct.
Because there you got the age appropriate voices that you can.
Although it's sound animated because they're not as clean. It's like it's hard to watch old movies where it's like that audio has got kind of that not tinniness but that weird like that's obviously But I'm sure at some point there'll be an AI filter to remove the old sound effect. Anyway.
Yeah. And classic for real, $5. Missed yesterday, but the girl in the thumbnail of the Starbase 80 first look vid is really cute. Clearly, Mike McMahon gets waifus with Mariner, etc.
Yeah.
Thank you for tuning in and being a day late. Good job, classic for real. He goes on to put another $2 and say, "Hope I didn't just pay $5 to get canceled for Wafu."
No idea.
Yeah, no.
And there's apparently a special guest in the chat, Stuart, Mr. John Lee, whoever that name is. Read out his comments.
Ooh, we shot a lot more than what ended up in the piece. You can see that in the stills on the blog post. Yes, well, thank you for joining us. Yeah, I noticed there was some scenes with Yeoman Colts with the little photo thing that Spock had. I love it's the same photo thing that was in the Star Trek Beyond, which with picture of the crew sitting on his table there. That was awesome.
John, what did you do in the piece?
Yeah, let us know, John.
Many things, I assume. Yes, we're just saying how there's clearly way more that was shot, clearly implying there'll be more to come, which is great.
Hopefully.
But a lot of this stuff is a wonderful tech demo. I mean, I've seen everything's kind of like fractious. I've seen a video somewhere, one of the many OTOY pieces, where they do a CG live remodel of a guy's face onto another face. So it's kind of a combination of the makeup that enhances, but it's live, which is amazing. So they can see how the performance is. Which obviously means you could bring an actor who's mostly right, like Robin Curtis, because I still of her being young, and show her do it. It's not obviously perfect, of course, but how could it be?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if the boss would love me to talk about it. I was on the face team. Well, there you go.
I mean, that's
good job.
That's the most important team. Yeah, I mean, seriously, the work is astounding. It's one of those things where I do a decent amount, you know, Stuart, I do some de-aging and some deep fakey stuff, and some of these shots are flawless. Some of them are not.
There's one or two that are just a little off.
But some are actually flawless. I know a lot is Sam Witwer, but I mean, some of the wrinkles and the motions, I mean, the subtlety in performance that not Shatner put in is astounding in some places. I mean, that's the whole thing that sells it, right?
Well, the thing that sold it for me was the micro expressions from the Shatner. Like, I was so impressed because he's got that little like Kirk smirk and all that stuff going on, and it's not overblown, it's not overdone. It's just exactly how Shatner would have done it. Absolutely fantastic.
I mean, and it's a character that we know so incredibly well. This sort of face is the again, the fact that you didn't get everything perfect is a testament to what you did get almost perfect, because the subtlety is what you don't. When you look at the original Tron Legacy, sorry, and his version, it's a mess of like, hey, it's a younger face, and it's like, okay, I see what they're doing, but you could do stills of this and entirely convince people it's new footage, entirely, right?
Yeah. Shades of Slay throws in £1, no comment, and then £2 with whoops. Yeah, I loved it. Very emotional to watch. Welcome. By the way, guys, 115 of you here, which is great. We have 67 likes, which is okay. It's like just a little above half. So hit the like button. Let's try to get to 100 likes. I think we can do it. I'd appreciate it.
Hopefully, John will stay for a few minutes. I have a brief question/comment. I thought the TOS Kirk was especially good. Some of the physicality as well. Was that extra effort put into? Because I thought the shots were really just astoundingly good.
And Sam Witwer says, wait, is this live?
It depends if this is real Sam Witwer. What? Yes, hello. Hello.
Yes, we're live.
If it is you, big fan of your Star Wars work and your crazy voices and just complimenting your physicality and whatnot. Why wouldn't it be live? You know, we're excited.
Troy Ulysses, £5. Colt saw the future in the motion picture novel and comics. She is key in this narrative. She is also the one in Kelvin uniform holding the Star Trek Beyond photo box. Yes, she is.
Well, like I say, there's definitely more. But also I can imagine they wrote lots of possible script stuff to play with. And can I see... I'm guessing, given it was such a level, they were thinking, let's just try, let's say... 10 more pages, and if some shots aren't perfect, let's just not do those few shots, because it's already enough, isn't it?
Well, I want to see more. I hope this is leading up to something else. Like I said, seeing Gary Mitchell was a little bit
yes.
Yeoman Colt being kind of present through all of this is interesting as well. Like, I hope there's something bigger coming. I hope these are like teaser things, personally, but
even if it's just, you know, we can do it. I mean, it's almost a test of like, hey, CBS, hire us to make a brand new Star Trek Generations 2. We could do it. It's like, what?
Well, Sam Witwer says, oh crap, John, hi. And then I watch your stuff. I thought this was pre-recorded. No, this is live. Welcome. We got a celebrity amongst us.
Yeah, and a fan, and a BSG got shot in the... I'm still RIP, you sir. You died too soon. Which is your favourite Kirk to play, Sam, of the Kirks? Because there's 3 Kirks, and they're not at all the same, even though they are the same. Yeah.
But Schmobody throws in $5. The attention and respect for all the details the Okudas being involved enlightened me on lore I was unfamiliar with. This is the way. Thank you, Schmobody. And classic for real, $2. Holy crap! Kirk actually looks like Kirk. A+, John.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I did ask if the TOS Kirk was everyone with extra attention.
And Sam says, also, I love this channel. Thank you, Sam. Hopefully you're subscribed. And notified. Hit the notification bell. Like, you know the routine. It's fine.
Also, John Back said he did Tron, Tarkin, and Leia. Hey, Tarkin's fantastic. That's crazy. But Tron was very early. It's okay. Tarkin, I think I always give Tarkin more credit because the performance came through, and that's the most important thing, right? So I do a lot of CG face stuff. I de-aging. 3 of my characters in my fan film series are all de-aged and up-aged, and it's crazy, but it's fun to direct younger selves and older selves, and knowing it's not quite right.
Why do I suddenly want to play the Force Unleashed?
Because they're really good games.
Yeah, they are fantastic.
Yeah.
All right. Well, yeah. One of the things that really confuses me about this one in particular, like Gary Mitchell, that's fine, but Yor from the
yes.
Kelvin TNG future timeline interests me because I think he was part of the Temporal Wars. I think that was the
Time
whole
agent,
vibe
yep.
there. A time agent. So the whole feel of this thing, is it a dream? Is it a vision?
Mm-hmm.
Is it Kirk's death, his actual death? We do see scenes from, well, not scenes from, but like the Kirk in cryostasis.
From Picard, it all connects.
From Picard,
as if Dave Blass worked in this or something. Because he did. He was production
well, he
designer.
did. Production designer.
He's like, we can mention our own show if you want. We did this,
But I love the implications of it because who knows what is going on story-wise with this. But yeah, bringing in Yor was an interesting choice.
I mean, it's genius. Because also, as you have TNG fun, although, boy, part of my brain says they did the original version with the wrong com badge. And then to remaster it, it's the whole thing about Discovery. Yeah, really fun. A hell of a CG model. I mean, crazy.
Yeah. And Sam Witwer has joined the channel at the rank of Ensign. Welcome aboard, Ensign Witwer.
Wow, so you can be
we outrank him.
We do.
How's that fair?
It's pretty good. But he's also a Jedi Sith apprentice. It's pretty probably gonna win that battle either way, Stuart.
Yeah. Area 51 says Yor was doing Kirk a solid. I'll send you to go see your friend before he dies. Is this another thing that came into my mind? This is Kirk's first introduction to the Nexus. Like he just found himself walking the flowers.
No, this is after. This is reanimated Kirk.
I mean, well, maybe, but I when I first watched it, I thought, is this the Nexus? Is this like his first foray into the Nexus to be able to see the future?
Well, and Sam Witwer says we have answers for all these questions, but part of the fun is letting fans have their own interpretations. Yes, this is because it's such a surrealist piece that you can say what is this, that, and whatever, and that is fun. But also knowing the answer is very important too, because you can have surrealism for surrealism's sake, or you can have actual leading into some cool stuff. And I really appreciate this. Feels like it's going to be something. Yeah.
Hans Pritchard says, Did Yor bring the others there too? Don't know. And it's funny because with the close up of Yor, it actually like you get a good look at him, and then it kind of goes. It does that shaky horror cam thing, and then it goes zoom into the void. It was kind of a scary second or two there. I don't know what's going on.
It creates such intrigue.
Yeah.
And are they implying? Are these people implying, these wonderful people here, that there's a temporal Cold War in the JJ verse as well, a separate version, and maybe they interacted with our temporal Cold War? Because I always assumed from Discovery that they had he fell in our universe and then fought in the war. He happening from the JJ verse, but this of course beautifully ties in together that he could have been clearly cross universal. What nothing.
I want to take a moment because we have 134 people here, which is fantastic
Yes.
for a live, and 88 likes. I'd like to get to 100 likes. So if you haven't hit like yet, please do so. Sturm von Ulk, who's been a member for 50 months at the rank of ensign,
Amazing.
says, if this is an ending, it is perfect as it is. Yes, it is. It's a good, perfect as a standalone piece to add to your headcanon. Troy Ulysses, £2. OTOY should help Shatner recut. Make a recut of Star Trek 5.
I did think that going into this, like they could easily
do the original concept, yeah,
or just something else. I don't know, yeah, just give him the. I mean, clearly they worked with him on this, and you can feel the tangible. I mean, yeah. I'm guessing, Sam, that Shatner. Well, was Shatner on set? I guess that's the question. But did Shatner? Because you could probably tweak the performances in post. Not necessarily what you want to do. But I'd love to think that Shatner was able to kind of guide some of the small stuff. We know that when Mark Hamill did the Mandalorian scene, which was obviously still mind-blowing, he did the scene first, and then the actor did it again, and they worked super closely, and it all comes across. I'm wondering, I mean, it would be amazing to think that Shatner was on set, did the scenes, and then, I mean, that would be crazy in full uniform, but I think those pictures would have come out had he done that. Can you imagine saying, right, Mr. Shatner, can you put on a TOS uniform again? It's like, what? Just for reference, like, okay. And like, we're the guys that did that. We're the guys that put Shatner back in TOS after. Gosh, that'd be God, when you get chills, when you get just the biggest chills of your life to see Shatner.
I got chills watching this as it is. So
no, I legitimately got very close to I didn't tear up, but I was expecting the crescendo of the love final moment. And that got me very back here emotional, like behind the eyes, like whatever that last sting was going to be was going to hit me into the cry or not.
And John Lee says the guy who did Luke is also in the chat, or was. Oh, wow.
Is that you then, sir? Because this is crazy good. Big fan of that stuff.
Mark Lawrence, member for 20 months at the rank of Admiral. Welcome aboard, Mr. Whitwer. This can be a crazy ride at times, but this crew always makes it home. We try. And Schmobody has joined at the rank of Ensign as well.
Thank you again.
Welcome aboard, Schmobody. Yeah. So I don't know. It seems like there's some kind of narrative going on here. Yor is an interesting choice, because there's no way Shatner would have known about him. So, and also that image of Gary Mitchell.
Yeah, that's the most confusing.
Like that seems like something out of a comic, and I'm sure it is.
Yeah, it was. Especially as he's long dead. So, because the way it plays to me is that this is him.
He's not long dead. He only died a few years ago.
I mean, TOS, I mean, it's quite a long time ago for generations.
Well, yes. Yeah.
I
thought you meant the actor. I'm like, no.
No, I mean, for me, what I took from that is that when he ascended into godhood, maybe his consciousness also existed in the Great Barrier, and so in his few hours as this intergalactic being, he was able to see into possible futures and able to see his friend talk to his other friend. It's a very interesting beginning.
Yeah.
It's almost showing off. Almost.
I want to congratulate and thank you guys. We did hit 100 likes, but let's see how high we can get. Can we get to 120?
Yes.
Thank you. And Classic for Real has gifted 5 Trekyards memberships today. So I'd like to welcome the Silent Empyrean Frost, Shades of Slay, Trek Matt, Mr. Captain 93, and Chris Mills. Welcome to the channel. You have a 1-month membership. So yeah, enjoy your emojis and stuff. You got emojis in the chat that you can put in now. So
yes, and since this is clearly an us kind of thing, Mr. John Lee, would you like to talk about your work on this if you were given approval on the channel? We'd love to give hyper focused credit to face work, because that is very much the love letter here. And Sam Whitmer did say the Shatner was not on set. Shatner was consulted with tests and such to build the not inconsiderable trust he's had to show us. That is a good way of phrasing that. But I'd love to talk to you about this as well If that would be...
Apparently they showed this on the bridge at Ticonderoga when Shatner was there. So
that's why the actor that played Spock and the actor that, and obviously Robin Curtis, were there. Which you can imagine, you know, it's like, surprise! It's like, I'd love, you know, hearing Shatner's response would have been, it's me!
I would have loved to hear what he thought of it, like the final...
Yeah.
Because like I said, those micro expressions in his face were just so on point.
Which, of course, are Sam's expressions in Sam's face. And that's why I actually brought up this specific moment. Because this Robin Curtis look is astounding.
Yeah.
Because it's hard to express, and obviously I'm sure everyone felt the same, but it's so... You can feel all the sub-emotions, and it actually goes beyond words. Obviously the point that the shot is not have to use words, but it's so granular. And I definitely see through his eyes, which obviously not real eyes, which is crazy. A very specific scene from one of the films. I'm like, that is Shatner performing a scene emotively. But it's not Shatner, not performing a scene, not emotively. But I can feel it. In this one scene, it's just like, it's there. It's really good. But I guess because it's really, like, it's deeper emotion. I guess something about... There's one thing about... oh, why is that? Oh, sure. There's one thing about showing loss of my friend emotion. There's another thing about the new life and hope. I think maybe we'll know grief more as an emotion, so it's more standard. I don't know if that's the way to express it, but like understanding that Kirk is realizing that his friend has got a son that he's like never met before. You know, that's a thing to it. That's a really new expression, new emotion, right?
Yeah,
it's amazing.
And Classic for Real has gifted 10 Trekyards memberships, so thank you, Classic for Real. So Daniel Hall, good to see you again. Welcome, Mellow Canuck, Immortal Technique, Tim Bowman, Simon Woodson, Ryan K, Roland, SFX, F31, Sabertooth Raptor, Bill Nye, Mark. Welcome to the channel. Is that the Bill Nye, the science guy? Wouldn't be surprised with today's live so far.
I mean, how could he be a high-end scientist and not be a Trek fan, right? It's kind of goes with the territory.
William J. says, in the deleted Star Trek 4 scene, Kirk apparently did know Saavik was pregnant.
Deleted, though.
Yeah.
Yes. We should invite John and Sam, but I don't think talk about stuff yet.
Well, Sam was also didn't think this was alive, so
it would be hard to invite.
He wanted to pop in and just see what was going on because that was edited. But yeah. Oh, he's still here. Robin was absolutely lovely. Yeah.
Yeah, really good choice of makeup as well. Yeah, I watched her interview piece. And she said I thought it was going to be her, but they actually up-aged her because, of course, Vulcan, much older, and she's sold that very, very well.
Yeah.
And he also says, I wish he could have been at Ticonderoga, but was with Dan Collins as he finds the audio while the visual team finds the visuals. Yeah, every time Kirk let out a little guttural, there's guttural little noises that he kept emoting. I was like, is it? Damn, no words.
Yeah.
Damn, no words. It was rather a tease, a very effective tease, which is good.
Yeah.
And Mr. Sam Starkiller, I just missed you on Twitter. If you'd like to, if you can see that and say hello, that'd be super fun. It's definitely a conversation to have, because how the hell do you play 3 different Kirks with 3 different faces and yet not? Crazy. Okay, obviously we've got the Precious Street. What was your favourite moment in it? While the famous people are still here, and why? Because there's so many layers of what could be a favourite and why. There's a very big, dense thing.
Honestly, it was when he looked down and saw his reflection, the TOS one, and then it switches back to the TOS one with the other Kirk in the reflection, and then seeing Admiral Kirk. So seeing like 3 different Kirks in different stages.
Yep.
I thought was that kind of gave me chills a little bit because I didn't expect that. I saw the reflection and thought, okay, that's as far as I'm going to take that, and then no. So that was the moment for me because Kirk's always been like one of my heroes my entire life. So to see that just really kind of, like I said, gave me chills, gave me goosebumps. Seeing Spock, of course, was good, and that, you know, the touching moment of them holding hands and just kind of looking at the sunset. But I mean, I went through stages, obviously,
Yeah.
through for the first one. It's like, oh look, there's Savick. Interesting. Oh, yours here. What is going on here? And then when he puts the badge on, was another favorite moment of mine.
Mm-hmm.
Just boop. And then, yeah, but after watching the entire thing, yeah, seeing the three Kirks together. I also I appreciated seeing the little photo thing on Spock's table, which I didn't know if a lot of people would necessarily recognize. I would hope so, but so yeah. What about you? What was your favorite moment in this one?
I mean, I'm a tech junkie for this kind of stuff. So just every time I saw some edges, but that's absolutely fine. Every time I didn't, I said previously, this TOS Kirk is astounding. I don't know exactly how there's something tangibly different about the performance. Maybe because Sam's actually as thin as young Kirk was. So when he's playing the bulkier Kirk, because you're playing 3 distinct body shapes, right? So maybe because that doesn't quite translate as perfectly. But the way the TOS Kirk just is, it's not just standing, it just is.
I wondered with the TOS Kirk and the Admiral Kirk if they were just taken out of other scenes. Especially Admiral Kirk, because he didn't really do anything. He just kind of stood there like in Star Trek 2. So I was wondering if that was the case. I'm not sure what they did. I mean, Sam's here. He could tell us if he played those ones or not. But
and that's the thing. How, have 3 full uniforms, they're different physicalities. I definitely assume there's one actor for all 3 because, like I said, different builds.
Yeah.
And different hairs. But again, you can do different days and whatnot. But no, TOS was especially good, and the fabric felt good. The fact that, as you say, it juxtaposes. The fact that as Kirk is being moved between universes, for some reason that triggers him to be shown an alternate version of himself. I don't understand the logic in that sense. I don't think I'm meant to. But yeah, the regalness of Admiral Kirk was great, and that was a better face, I think, than older Kirk. But I guess with as often a single shot you can hone in a way that you can't a considerable amount of things. There's a couple of shots of my DH Captain Hunter where he's walking and it sucks because of course he's shifting perspectives and you can't. But if there's just a static and you can really kind of lock it off and make a really crisp mask, it's like perfect. But this is an insanely good shot of Kirk.
Sam answers and says, I don't know if your question was rhetorical, but how do you play 3 Kirks? The answer, very carefully. So you did play all 3, so it's not just footage from Star Trek 2 for the Admiral Kirks.
Yeah.
That's the one that I was kind of like, with the way he's standing there, it could just be from on set or whatever. Ray Ricks, though, throws in £5. So thank you so much, Ray.
Thank you.
For me, the best part was the closure for Kirk and Spock. Yeah, but again, I wish there was a little dialogue there. Like somebody mentioned earlier, just having I have been and always shall be your friend would have been good. But
again, harder to achieve the higher level of fidelity.
Yeah.
I mean, it's definitely one of those things where it's like if that's their final moment, I would imagine that Spock would assume that was a dying brain seeing him. So if there'd been somehow an amazing ability to have a I'm real moment, but then again, if the emotional impact is all that Spock needed, as it were, to have that closure, then him being real or not is sort of irrelevant. It's just having that emotion. But that's the problem. When you show something this absolutely exquisite, you kind of want more, and you're kind of like punching the air for and epilogue, and the second one, because it kind of always feels like they need a second one, like a lot, like a post credit to tease the next one. And it's like Kirk running down a corridor, you open the door, and there's Picard's like, oh, God, I did Picard as well. Oh, for goodness sake.
Well, I saw the length, right, and then it's like there's still like 2 minutes and something left, and I'm like, is there going to be something? So I like went through the credits and hopefully for an after credit sting, but.
It kind of was begging for after credit sting. But God, this picture of Kirk is just it's the hair. It's the hair that's so. Oh God.
And Sam Whitwer says yes, 3 with different makeup and digital prosthetics and bodywork. So were you wearing the Admiral's uniform?
Have to be. Well, it wouldn't have to be, I guess, because Yor was a full character. Yeah, because we've seen. I can't remember the name of the Spock actor. It is extensive physical prosthetics. And they're being somewhat cagey on pre-footage currently.
Yeah.
Did you see yourself in the mirror? Could you see Sam in the mirror? Oh yeah, Sam's right. Hi, Sam. Or or is it Kirk? Oh, that's such an interesting concept because that Spock was very close. But there's a version of in one of the previous ones where it's properly old Spock, and it's like, yeah, that's obviously mostly like a lot of digital work, and whereas there's like the TMP Spock where it's just makeup, he's not moving his face very much. It's really like that's just basically makeup without much else. You can kind of feel it. But how much was like? How close would you say percentage-wise was Shatner's face, and then add-on? Because you gotta be able to move, right? To rather it be a deep fake where it guesses the performance kind of.
I feel like we have to have Sam on for an interview now.
That's what I'm heavily implying, yes. In full Kirk makeup. Can you imagine? He walks on. Sorry.
Shades of Slay throws in £5. This short movie is what the final episode of Trekyards will be like. You two meeting after a universal leap to look at a sunset. Well, I'm not looking forward to the final episode of Trekyards, but hopefully it's at least another 10 years because we just hit our 10-year mark this year, so...
Dear me.
Anyway.
Now, I can also imagine, it's a very minutiae question, but I would imagine that Sam would have the power here to say, can I keep the uniforms? Because, you know what I mean, they're perfectly fit for him, clearly. I mean, look at that torso, and you can get the SAG pay you want to get, etc. But you could ask for the uniform, surely, because that's a pretty nice thing to have ready-to-go uniforms.
Well, Sam said, look, I shouldn't say this, but I'm going to, Sam. Our current capabilities are beyond what you are seeing in this piece. That's good to know. Yeah.
Yes.
And William J., who's an awesome cosplayer, he's also in...
Target Forward.
Farragut Forward, as one of the Klingon, says, I'm legit curious where the uniform came from. Fab stuff. So there you go.
I mean, you can pay any... if you've got an original and hand it to a really good prop maker, costume maker, they can make it. Yeah.
And yeah, all footage of Kirk is original and me. That's awesome. I say that with great deference to Shatner, who is the architect of this character. Yeah. Classic for real, $2. Good job, A+, other Sam, for Kirk looking like Kirk.
And if John Lee is still here, how much of this was real-time rendering versus in post? Because I would imagine that if this is meant to be, and it kind of feels like a tech demo is the wrong word, but a proof of concept, because this is beyond that, but it's the edges of what they are able to do, but in the most streamlined way. So if this was, in a sense, if you could do real-time motion remapping performance on top of the makeup, as you have expressed earlier, then you could actually walk back behind the monitors and see the performance.
He says the faces were in real time, which really helps the rehearsal process and the shooting. Yeah. Oh, wow, that's amazing.
Yeah, to be able to walk back there and see your Kirk and hone the performance. I mean, that probably allows this to be so refined because the performance work is really good. Especially that hand in wheat acting, the gladiator moment.
Yeah. Yeah. Richard Kennedy, member for 56 months at the rank of ensign. Thank you, Richard.
Thank you.
Is this meant to be when he entered the Nexus? See, that's what I thought when I first started watching it as well. Who knows? It could be.
Yeah,
it's a mystery.
I assume it's a Picard season 3 link, given the El Kazi stuff, and it's very much he's back, guys. We reanimated the corpse. He's back. This is Shatner 2, and now he's been called by your... Yeah, there's kind of tissue that's missing here, for sure, but obviously...
And Sam Whitworth says, do I own do I own my own uniforms? No comment.
Yes.
Now Sam's going to show you all his costume.
Well, who does... Yes. Yeah. But even a Prodigy uniform.
Yeah, he's got a lot of good uniforms for sure.
Yeah. Okay. I remember there was the chap who's in Kim's Convenience who was born to Mandalorian. The wonderful comedian who's the X-Wing pilot, who I'm sure you know, as in both Stuart and Sam. He actually owned his own uniforms, which were Fiverr first approved. He just walked on. He could walk onto set in his own. Yeah. It's like his own. It's like, oh. And so they made him a custom helmet to be his character's name. So he added to his own uniform with a custom original piece, but it was
the Mandalorian also used 501st Stormtroopers because they needed more Stormtroopers. So
Well, yeah, 100%. But it'd be so surreal to be walking with your own uniforms. Like,
Yeah.
of course I've got,
Royston S. Bailey, $2. OTOY is what New Trek should have been.
Well, that's not fair. It's a very different sort of thing, right?
Yeah.
And in fact, how long did this take to produce? Because when you start talking about real-time face work, then you can do it. It's all the prep then, but you can kind of do it all in a day, as in each segment, right? And the post work is refinement and maybe some scene work. But if it's there, then of course, very much like Mandalorian, the turnaround time is incredibly quick. And then dangerously, once you can do this, let's assume Sam makeup's like 3 hours in the chair, 4 hours in the chair. Let's say another hour on the hair, right? Say 6 hours, 5 hours, right? I mean, if you can do a whole day, I mean, you could shoot, a scene of TOS, which I'm sure you did. They've got they interviewed Shatner on their LED wall tech, and it's actually the Star Trek 345, one of those bridges. So, wouldn't it be so tempting? Oh, just Sam, just sit in the chair, just interview as Shatner as Kirk. You already made it up, right? Just do it live. Oh, dangerous.
I want to say 152 people here, 125 likes, which is great. Can we get to 150 though? If you haven't hit like yet, please do so. Another 25 would be amazing.
Mm-hmm.
And Sam Whitward does say, John Lee and his team are amazing. We worked together for a long time, tailoring our work for each other.
Yeah,
that's good.
Yeah, I mean, this is obviously it's a license, but it came from the passion of OTOY guys to create something new. It's a passion project first, which means that therefore to get it right is the most important thing. Yeah, you can feel that.
Royston S. Bailey, $2. Shatner is 90 plus. Shatner at 90 plus is the true spirit of Trek.
Sure.
Yeah. And Sam goes on to say, Jules Urbach deserves extraordinary gratitude and respect for having been bold enough to conceive of such a risky project. He has extraordinary vision and faith and trust in his team.
Yeah. How the hell do you pitch this?
We pitch it all. You pitch stuff like this all the time.
Yeah, I do.
So I mean, hey,
it's, yeah. How do you? Yeah, I want to bring back two of the most iconic faces in sci-fi, two of the most iconic characters in sci-fi. People that inspired both the science generation and a sort of command generation, and give them the final moments of Spock. That's it's a pitch, and looking real, because you could have done it with many actors playing the role. But to have it, but as I don't know if you hear Sam for the start, we said that there's something different about it having been not Ethan Peck and Chris Pine, but having been the actual faces. Like, there's a truth to it that everything it hits in a way that obviously you appreciate is super different. But it's like this end bit with Not Nimoy, like the nuance, the subtlety of that eye raise was so right.
Yeah.
And it's like that just that's the performance.
The Scottish Nightmare says Starkiller was in it. Yes, and he's also in the chat.
Also in BSG, briefly.
Yeah. Red Shirts Forever throws in $5. Thank you so much. I took this as the Time Soldier Universe hopping Beetlejuicean officer as offering Kirk a last chance to say goodbye to Spock in the Kelvin timeline. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah,
my assumption too is it... but then to go from that to that, because how would you all be told, etc., etc. I mean, possibly Spock saving the galaxy in his timeline accrued some level of their future time. I don't know, right? Very complicated. Very complicated. But does this imply that? Well, I mean, does it show that movement between the universes is that easy?
Might have a Nexus connection.
Oh, because he traveled, because he lived outside of linear time, he can be moved between linear time. That's fun.
Because they say in Discovery that it's drifted too far apart to do the crossover. I don't know. Anyway, yes, I love that. Maybe the Nexus is the key to that. So.
So you could, but anyone can travel into the Nexus sometimes.
Yeah.
It's not that difficult unless it is.
So Picard's technically could show up anytime, anywhere now, too, because he was in the Nexus also. An after image of him is there.
And of course, since you've now had Android Picard, you can now bring back a live Picard from the Nexus, his after image, to come back and deal with AI Picard.
Yeah.
Yep. Slight madness, eh?
Yeah, we have 94 votes on our poll as well. If you haven't voted in the poll, please go do so. Would love to see more stuff from OTOY. And as I said at the beginning, maybe somebody of them will be watching, and sure enough. So let us know your thoughts. Let's see if we can get more OTOY stuff.
Well, and this is where what isn't in the film is actually more interesting in a sense, because you have this scene with the JJ version of a character from the cage, and none of those sentences connect because she's long dead by the Picard era, where the Elcars are from, or implied are from, because that's the other Kirk. So is this alternate Kirk? Well, that would be silly because that would devalue the whole thing. So why is there a JJ woman who's in our universe, possibly with our Kirk?
That's Yeoman Colt.
But, I know, but why is she JJ version?
Yeah.
And given that, you know, some of the JJ characters lived at different times, there's no reason to think she'd be the same age, the same era, the same whatever. Because it's all a bit confusing. And it's such a quick moment. I'm glad you got all the stills, but it's such a dense, like, first 7 seconds.
I had to go through frame by frame because it went by and I'm like, So yeah, I wanted to make sure I got them all.
But you know what I mean? There's so much that... And in fact, let me start to bring up the stuff that's on the website, because that is actually also incredible, and it's stuff that isn't in... That's... I mean, this picture of young Savick is also astounding.
William J. says, maybe Colt is a traveler like Wesley Crusher. Sure.
Bit of a stretch, but we didn't really know her, so... Not unreasonable.
Yeah, it opens up so many possibilities, and I love that they said they kind of want to leave it to the fans to kind of weave their own ideas, even though they've got their own ideas over there that are making it. So...
Well, there's already a question then. This particular shot, and obviously we've got the man himself. This is an image...
Still here.
Oh, yes. I mean, this shot is in the website, and we know we saw the other chap who plays Spock. So is this also you, Sam, playing Sam's brother, James T. Kirk? I know, right? In TM. Although, in fairness, he could play Sam Kirk, just grow a moustache.
Sure.
So
yeah.
Sam Witwer could play Sam Kirk with James T. Kirk prosthetics wearing a fake moustache. A bad one, though. Yeah, because, I mean, here is a shot. If that is also you, playing also you, if that is indeed coming through... Because that's on the website, and, I mean, it's unlikely to be a deep fake, or unlikely to be a composite, given everything else they've just shown. So, you know, what's that for? You know?
Ooh. William J. points out that Telosians did say that her genetic material would make some very smart offspring. You're not wrong. They did compliment that. Okay. Yeah, you're right.
Interesting. And this other shot of the DH Savick is also just excellent. I mean, I'm not even sure, you know, for some reason it looks more CG to me because it's so good. And often, you know, we found this with some of our de-aging. Female faces are harder because the subtlety is more, well, at least we men notice women's faces more. It might be reversed for the ladies in the audience, but that is so effective. I mean, so is Kirk as well, but that's implying there's stuff we haven't seen, because look, there she is, right?
Classic for Real throws in $5. Just want to ask to make clear, since the last hour, I thought this was an official Paramount thing. Our Sam, Commander Cockings, Power 543, made this? No.
No.
He wishes.
Well, yeah, I'll get a license for one if it is. No, licensed by CBS to OTOY to Roddenberry as a partially a selling mechanism for a thing for Apple app. But that's fine. Cool. If that's the excuse you have to do to make a CGI Kirk, that's fine. Good. Cool. But look how good Robin Curtis looks, if that's Robin Curtis. That's entirely breezed over. And it's not just that, but it's having to get her in full uniform and full makeup and different hair. These are all the layers if this is a real image that we didn't see. That is a day's worth of work to achieve this. Extra.
Sam Whitwer says, I love listening to you all speculate. Jules has a proper answer to every one of these, and he made it very clear that we do rob the fans of the joy of trying to figure this out. Are we going to get an answer at some point? Is there going to be a compilation Blu-ray we can buy at some point?
I mean, the making of it would be fascinating.
Because I would... It's like, shut up and take my money. But yeah.
Yes. So one of the big graphics that we saw was about Gary Mitchell. That should answer a few questions. Because, apparently Gary, Mr. Lockwell, whose name, did come back to play the role, which I find intriguing, given that is entirely a CG face. There was no makeup there, and the performance is just looking forwards. But I guess
they got the actor back?
Mm-hmm.
Because he apparently is still alive. He's like 87 or something now. So
yes. I mean, he might not be busy. So you might be able to call him up and say, we'll come to your house, it's fine. How would you act at this moment? Kind of the vibe I got. And you can see, I love how they show the comic reference, because, they're using what came before, which I like. Yeah, what do you think, Leo? Wow. If you haven't seen this stuff yet?
I haven't seen all this yet, no. That's impressive. That surprises me that they got Gary Lockwood back for that. But that's awesome.
I mean, might as well, right?
Yeah.
Who can answer it better than the person doing it? Is the question. And that's why there's so much work went into all of these. I have a team that makes CG sets, and I have to texture them, and this takes a whole day, to texture. Like, this one thing is like so much time and effort.
And love.
Well,
you gotta love the material, and it shows.
At least you should hopefully love the material.
Yep.
Now this is like I said, these stills on the website are wonderful, but low res. So if we zoom in, we can see Sam as Kirk. But this is where it gets confusing, because that Sam as Kirk on the right looks like James T. Kirk without makeup, but that middle Sam looks like a man with makeup. Neither like Sam. It's very good. How's this? Is what? This is very good, right? It's crazy.
Wow.
And it's slightly embarrassing to me as another green screener, as like how good green screen can look.
Mm.
I have none of those skills, unfortunately. I can do it very, very okay, but I try. Try and do my old Star Trek stuff.
Do or do not. There is no try.
Well, I do. It just doesn't look as good.
Fair.
Try.
William Jace asks, "What's that Gary comic? A Perfect Truth?" I don't know. JM throws in $5. Do you think people have inverted nipples in the mirror universe? If they do, they're probably sensitive to light and can't tell the difference between red and orange.
Well, if it helps, Yor has 45 nipples. So.
That's a full-time job. What?
Yeah.
Anyway. 141 people watching and 141 likes. Sweet. Now, can we get 9 more likes, get to 150? Yes. And some more votes in the poll. We have 107 votes on the poll. So hit like, vote in the poll if you haven't already. Let us know your thoughts on this, your speculations.
Yes.
All the things.
Yeah, because again, this thing teases. It teases more. It implies more. It implies else. And I was also kind of shocked. I mean, obviously we had the previous ones where we saw Generations, we saw the Crash, we talked about all those as well, and seeing, not Nimoy as not Spock, as Spock. And it was so well done. I was surprised he was only in this for a brief brief moment. So where was the, all that work just for that thing? Obviously it was the big surprise of Kirk in this one. But I certainly would have, expected a bit more Spock in this.
Oh, we got another one that worked on it here. Leonidas. He was a cinematographer.
A bit fancy, aren't you, sir? A bit fancy.
Thank you guys for tuning in, by the way, the people that worked on it, because I was excited to talk about this, and I'm even more excited now that you guys are here, or at least aware that we're doing this. So
yeah, if you know Trekyards, this is absolutely up our alley. Yeah, it's had I mean, I've done a little bit of surreal work in the past, and it's almost harder to do abstract shots. Like, there's no conversational bit except the eye acting conversational. So to be able to frame and think of abstract is more difficult in a way. And not knowing it was mostly green screen as well. I mean, Very tricky. Well, I'm guessing, Mr. Cinematographer, this is a gladiator reference with the wheat.
Yeah,
because
I kind of got that vibe too.
Feels it's poetic, right? Poetry, it rhymes.
Indeed.
And I wonder if they were implying not literally, but the cinematography of this intro scene feels like Genesis, the Genesis cave, the Genesis planet. That extra beauty that the physical set wasn't quite as beautiful. In fact, that was like, walking through Genesis, we got to a new beginning. Ha-ha!
Yeah. If Genesis truly is life from lifelessness, it must return to this place again. Yeah.
And yes, he said it was is very careful source material. Clearly. And Montoya crew will start it with fans with out of love. Yes. That comes across.
There's also a gentleman wearing a Nemesis-style dress uniform.
Who is in the credits credited as Crusher.
Crusher?
Crusher.
Jack Crusher? Interesting.
Boy, if that was Will Wheaton, CGI'd makeup to look an old bloody time agent Crusher for just for the sake of that one moment. Or he's in two shots, but yeah, credited as Crusher. Which that obviously is the big symbolization of what era is it in? Well, there he is. But given he's a traveller, if he's the same Crusher, then of course.
Oh, no, it's Jack Crusher from Picard.
So you think this is the mega future? You think this is like the 90s?
Sure, why not?
But why are they wearing Nemesis uniform if it's 100 or many years past? It's a bit of a retro uniform.
Yeah, and he's a time traveler. What's your point?
Why is he a time? Why do you think Jack Crusher's a time traveler?
No,
why is Jack Crusher wearing a Nemesis uniform if it's 90 years after?
I don't know. Jack Crusher makes more sense than Wesley Crusher.
What? Why? He is Time Crusher. He's a time agent, though. Why is it almost time agent?
Yeah, but he wouldn't wear a Starfleet uniform.
He did for the wedding. He was a time agent then as well, probably.
That needs to be... Wow. Sam says, I assure you, I don't think any of us know what we were tuning in. Live. This is great.
Yeah, I love that I can't spell well either. So I appreciate that Jedi, Sith, and other men named Sam also can't.
It's fine. It's just...
I know, but I rush things too.
Yeah, sorry. We're unprofessional here.
Yeah, no, I mean, you could talk about this. I mean, it, shocked the world kind of thing. Even though it was teased thoroughly, but they didn't tease the most important part. The Kirk part. It's like, we need Spock, he's barely in it. You're kind of waiting for Spock. But yeah, the Crusher and the Yaw and the... That's also a lot of extras for a very small thing. Now that could just... If that was just the crew, if that was just the everyone who's there on set physically to help the production, they just said, and here's your wardrobe for the 2 hours, the hour you're going to be... Because they're already there, right? I really read somewhere the concept this is Spock's family, as in everyone related to Spock in some way, and they've all come to this sort of, because obviously they're here to see Kirk off, right? This is the, they're not going to go see unless they all went to see Spock first. Wouldn't that be interesting? Possibly. If you all said, hey, every Spock cousin, descendant, every Amanda's sisters, aunts, cousins, grandmothers, nephews. That'd be interesting.
And Cybok and Michael Burnham.
Oh yeah, she's the one on the left. Yeah, because if all the answers are there, was this? Like, it's so interesting because I wonder if you shot this and played it knowing the answer, or if you shot it and filmed it knowing the idea. If that makes sense. Because there's a difference between having the full context versus just letting the imagery and the artistry come through. Both are totally valid, right? Like, you often shoot stuff, like shooting the Star Trek 3 coffin sequence. It probably means he could be alive someday. It's a visual scene. It wasn't a narrative scene. It wasn't a knowing scene. Yeah, I wonder.
Scottish Nightmare says there is a novel that addresses Wesley's wearing a uniform. He arrives to the wedding naked, not realizing, and is given a Starfleet uniform to wear.
It's an odd choice, but okay.
Yep. Where is Michael Burnham? Well, she's in the distant future.
Now
all knowledge of her existence has been erased from history.
Now is that your comm badge? Does that have the proper black edging, or is that the weird Picard version without the black edging? Oh, I don't. Let's get my black edging.
Sam Whitwer says, "Sorry for the typos. I've been walking my dogs the whole time." No problem.
Oh, very nice. It's not a bad thing to listen to. But once again, message you on Twitter. Do say hi back, and we can talk to you at some point about many things.
There's a few things we're aware that you are in, so.
As well as who is in your thing.
Haha. Wow.
Yes. Yes, and I'm always, Stuart, whenever I text you, I'm always walking my dogs every day.
Oh, that's okay. That makes sense. All right.
Terrible. Absolutely terrible.
You have no dogs.
And this sort of short, just the impetus to include this alien guy who has no dialogue, he has a clever, funny backstory, but just to see this the convergence of uniforms, I always find that so charming, because this is a not well loved uniform. I've grown to thoroughly love it from working in my fan films, of like just the unique vibe it gives you. It's really like it puts you in the point of the era, and to see I mean. We take for granted, right? In this one frame, there is a Rathakan Kirk, well, Star Trek 6 Kirk, and a TNG Season 1, and a Nemesis, Insurrection. It's a fan film, but not.
Zachary says, yeah, who is the alien guy? It's Yor. His name is Yor, and he was in an episode of Discovery. He is from the TNG era of the Kelvin timeline.
Yes. He's
a Betelgeusian. He's from the Betelgeuse constellation or star.
But also,
yes.
They said something about the year, and he was from a later TNG period, despite having the wrong uniform, because in that era, they were shifted the wrong way, which is absolutely fine, not a problem. Really great inclusion. Really, really great inclusion.
Classic for Real throws in $2.
Thank you.
I just Googled what the fuck OTOY is, and now I get it.
And now I get it.
And now you know. And knowing is half the battle. G.I. Joe.
We don't make the joke ever.
Sorry, I had to. I grew up. It's in my brain.
And people don't know what OTOY is. It's worth a brief explanation. Do you want to handle it, Stuart, or should I?
You can, because I have no idea.
OTOY is called... Well, I don't know what that stands for, but it stands for the Octane Render Company, basically. That's not actually...
Oh, okay. Yeah. Did know.
Yeah, and just to toot thine own, I pay them subscription to utilize their services, as well. They are a very clever graphics card based render engine company who made a wonderful game engine that kind of slightly changed how we do things, in the industry, whatnot, and they are very, very good at working with other groups. So here is my personal render of the Enterprise D. Transporter room that I did using Octane Render. Now with Lightwaves, it's my skew of the branch, but they are the tech company that made this render possible. So all and this is kind of amazing that all of my Trek art is because of Octane, who are the same guys that make this. And I believe they followed me recently, which I suppose makes sense. They're about to release this, didn't they? Actually, that makes more sense why they did that. They are big Trek fans. They pushed to make the Roddenberry thing as being Trek fans, so they're very much a CG company at the absolute top end. And in fact, they did a keynote speech, I believe, within the last 12 months, where they showed what they were doing new. And part of it was the Roddenberry Archive, which is rebuilding props and costumes and sets to a very, very high standard in their engine, proprietary engine. But part of their keynote, because they're so into Star Trek, clearly, because you don't make money off these fan... Like, this is a fan film, ostensibly, but you don't make money. This is entirely a money burn, right? It's just for the love of... And the emotional impact it's giving people. So, in their keynote speech, they showed the Enterprise refit, which I believe... Oh, gosh, was it Donnie that made it, or was it Lewis? One of them. Anyway, one of those guys. And it's absolutely glorious, obviously, and they shoot it like the refit. And then they talk about how in every single room there's now a window, and you can go in the window and see all the sets, and it became this, like, we can do exteriors and interiors, and it's just showing off, right? But that's, like, the team at OTOY, Octane Render Engine, they thought highly enough of Star Trek and the world of Trek and the visuals of Trek for that to be a foremost pillar of their oomph, right? So that tells you, right?
It's a gold standard for them.
Well, it's inspiring and it's cutting edge.
Leonidas says, we studied the reference material very carefully because we knew it would be noticed by fans like us. Careful consideration was taken in all the details of the frame. Yeah.
That is what we do as fan Trek makers, indeed.
This is totally up our alley for Trekyards. We just love this kind of stuff. So,
and that's interesting. On this hit, on this badge, I was scrolling because I know there's a slight confusion involving the com badges, which I believe I have right. I have a box of prop com badges. Open for there's a whole thing about how the badge and the OTOY Prisma was wrong, but it's not wrong. It's because of a very specific version. So it changes every movie and every version of every movie. So that's the version I have, which I do not know which one it is.
Yeah.
But they got the gold back, the silver back. And there's a little. So you filmed this, sir, so you should know. You're right here, and you wore it, sir. You should know.
It looked like there was a chip out of it.
Exactly, guys.
Which made me.
Where's the chip come from?
I think it's the one that was left on his grave. I think it was one that was left on his grave because it looks weathered. It looks like there's quite a few chips out of it.
Oh, you think?
I thought at first, was it an actual screen used one that they used that was just older? But I think it's because it was on Viridian. It was on Viridian 3.
Yeah.
And that's why Yor was giving it back to him.
But is that not meaningful as that part of his grave? I feel like I'd not want to remove that. Yeah,
but they removed his body clearly because Section 31 has it, or somebody has it.
We're going to eat it.
Well, exactly. So there's no body there. It doesn't need to be there for the grave, right? So
that would be so poetic. 150 years later, they hand the same. And if that's true, that's certainly an interesting concept to have it be the.
Yeah. Classic for real, $5. P.S. Google your spy family, then tell me who would wear that uniform better. Your spy family.
Yeah. Let you Google that. Because I also wondered, you mentioned this a second ago about the Nexus. This com badge went through the Nexus, right? Maybe people can't maintain the energy of the Nexus, but there's a certain catalytic feeling in this short is that Yor appears. He's a time agent from the JJ-verse. Cool. There's the obvious thing. Doesn't mean he can bring other people into another universe. But what if his connection through the Nexus allows, once it gives him back his item, it can supercharge him in a way that would make sense.
Yeah. Chase Williams is here. Good to see you, Chase. The dot in the upper corner is from Star Trek 2 through 6. The new with the dot on the lower corner is Generations.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I thought it was that. Yes, Leonidas, tell us the secret of the chip. With that for specific right now.
Oh, you're bossy.
And of course, shout out to Dave Blass. He was,
yes.
Obviously, shout out and Joe. We love Dave. Saw him last week. Week before. In this still I've got up, they're very careful to do certain props, and I wouldn't recognise them because they're so niche. But the chair on the left is actually Spock's chair from Star Trek 6 in his quarters, which is crazy minutia. Although logical storytelling, because just go back and check. But how fun is that?
And then it says Carlos Baena brought his own tone into this. I think his voice is the reason we all shed a tear every time.
And who in this framework is Carlos? Let us look.
And Chase keeps saying the paint chip is from the fall that killed Kirk. That's fair.
Oh, interesting. Let me go check. Because that would certainly be a very real thing.
Yes, indeed. And guys, hit like if you haven't already. We have 156 likes, which is fantastic. How close to 200 can we get? And 121 votes on the poll.
Oh yes, we asked a poll. Yeah, reference to you find people, and if you want to see more, yes, please read out and say how we're going.
So the question is, would you pay for OTOY to make more short films like this, supporting new regular content? I'd do a subscription $20 a month. I'd do a subscription $5 a month. Or I'd buy a set one time $50 or a set one time $25. And the winner so far is a $5 monthly subscription at 45%. Second place is a $20 a month subscription for 21%.
Okay, so it's kind of split.
And the other two are tied for the one time
Okay.
at 17% each. So
Okay. So the smaller support level, that's okay. But regularly.
yes, indeed.
So I'm trying to find the old. Yep, there it is. There's a chip. I see a chip, Stuart. I see a chip, which I'd never noticed before because I'm not looking at the chip degree of the badge of the person of the. Yep.
Chippiness.
Yeah. Chip factor 7, Captain. Damn. I mean, it's one thing. If I was doing a fan film about this, I would obviously look at this. Like I've done this for other things because I have to. But I've never had to look for this. But that is certainly rather fun. I'm just bringing it up now. Damn.
Yeah, I'm bringing it up to, let's see.
And you can't judge the yellow backing on the backing because there's just sunlight. It's fine. Damn. Damn. Didn't know that existed.
Indeed, that's very cool. Look at the attention to detail, guys.
Yeah, I mean, the first thing you do is get the reference of the, of the piece, and you go from there. And it's sort of doubly sweet because I released last year my fan film Fallen Heroes about generations, showing the pre and post of the story. So it's, it certainly brings into more light how much people appreciate at least many parts of generations, because I had to tell that story and I had to tell the story and live it and do the CG for it, and the non-Picard bit, because of course we're on the Enterprise D. So I've a certain connection to generations because I had to kind of rebuild it from scratch. It's a lot of work.
And Sam Whitworth says Carlos brought a lot of heart to this piece. It was very personal to him, as it would be to a lot of us, I think.
Yeah, I mean, this is a moment that I think like if you pitched this to actual Nimoy and actual Shatner, like in 1998, what would they say, right?
Yeah.
Like, I mean, it's different generations when he was told you're going to kill Kirk, but saying, would you like to film the death scene of... this is a very emotion-filled thing to do. And something that, if you place bets, we'd never thought we were going to get this scene, because why would we? But, it's one of those meaningful sci-fi moments you could kind of not realize you wanted to see, because they don't like this anymore.
And Schmobody throws in $2. Thank you so much. Would love to see timeline from TMP to Wrath of Khan on screen. Oh yeah, that'd be cool. That transition period. And William J says Dave Blass has been posting some behind the scenes stuff on X Twitter. We're just gonna call it Twitter because it's not X.
Okay. The problem is when you do stuff like this, right? They could easily now do, when they rebuild the Enterprise D bridge for that Universal Convention thingy in a few months next year, they could bring Sam back as Generations Kirk and have him walk the Enterprise D bridge.
Ooh.
Because I think we all wanted to see.
Yeah.
It exists. It can exist. Then Patrick Stewart giving some sort of Captain, welcome back to the old imagine for the alternate ending where he dies on the bridge. I mean, the CG is not hard to do, but you know what I mean? Like, that's the thing. We have such a level of, to build the D bridge is very difficult. It exists mostly. When you rebuild Kirk, he exists mostly. And as you'd said, you could effectively do so Sam's dramatic, like, he's thinking, okay, the Klingons are there. Then suddenly, Fire, Mr. Data. Back to a close-up. Okay, all the dialogue is back of his head. Aha, no lip sync. He could do.
Zachary Gibbons says deepfake will never be perfect. Disagree with you, 100%. One day it'll be indistinguishable.
Yeah, that's a matter of time.
Yeah.
When we start doing real-time rendering, when you actually... Because deepfake is an algorithm to mimic. Real-time rendering is using a model and... Oh, God, I'm trying to explain. If you can take a picture, a 360 picture of the set you're in, the actual set you're in, and feed that into the CG software, then it will actually be able... In that day, that minute, it'll be able to cast the correct light from the environment, and those who are good at it can set it up. So that it will be correctly lit, done, right? If the texturing is good enough and the model's good enough, then you've got all that reference. Then with this new technique of, it is new, incorporating live action and CG, I mean, you're not deep faking your CG facing, but to an incredibly specific fidelity. But of course, you've got to have an actor that can also have the same facial structure. You therefore aren't able to hire anybody. But if you hire the right person, a la the new Spock person, then it's like, well, damn. You can get to that 95th percentile of closeness, right? The insane. But you need the face structure to also follow through with that. It has to be a bit more than just, you know, a mask. Like, I've done deep fake things where they're like, well, that chap's cheeks were thicker. Now the face is a thin face on chubby cheeks. Doesn't feel right. It could look right, not feel right. It's important.
Yeah. Schmo Buddy, $2. He wants to see the in-universe birth of the Monster Maroons from the pajamas.
I mean, hey, this could be Sam's retirement, right? Just playing Kirk at all different stages of interaction, you know, constantly doing new scenes of him walking up to it in a room, looking at a tailor saying, well, Admiral Kirk, we could bring you pajamas. He's like, yes, Admiral?
I mean, it's been covered in the comics.
That's it.
The comments on the new Monster Maroons as opposed to the old ones.
Goodness.
I shared a comic panel probably like 2 months ago about that, so you can see that kind of thing. But
interesting. Yeah.
Kirk likes, or no, is it McCoy liked them? Kirk said they were uncomfortable or something. I forget, but
yeah, they're not the most comfortable.
Yeah,
not the most comfortable.
Anywho,
it's just inspiring, isn't it? Because you watch this and I'm sort of slightly more biased, and I see the CG of it because of course I do. I've sort of been doing this for a long time. You know, what was your degree of real to CG feel? Because we have very different experiences here. What was your sort of feel?
Like I said, there was a few scenes that seemed a little off, even on Spock when he like rolled over and stuff. I'd say a good 93% was like really, I thought was really good. It was very minimal. Let's put it that way. I didn't see much wrong with it. I saw the odd thing here and there, but I mean, Uncanny Valley, everyone kind of does. Eventually that will be corrected, and you won't even notice those kind of things, I'm sure. But yeah, I was super impressed. And I'm not one to just enjoy something for the sake of enjoying it. When it comes to this kind of stuff, I'm a little bit more critical. But like I've mentioned a few times, the micro expressions on Kirk's face, the smirk, the eye movements were so good that it didn't take me much to just go, okay, this is Shatner. This is lost footage that we haven't seen before. That's awesome. You know? So a lot of times I have to kind of force myself to see what they want me to see, using my imagination a little bit, but this wasn't the case here. So,
Stuart.
Oh, the director Carlos is here. Hello, Carlos.
Greetings. Read out the comments of the man of the hour after the other man of the hour after the other man of the hour after the other man of the hour. We had 4 different men of the hour.
We got the whole team here.
Yeah.
Says this is Carlos. I don't know how to say your last name, so I apologize. I won't even try to butcher it. I was brought to a world I was not familiar with. This piece owes so much to Sam's astounding, nuanced acting, and not just one character, but 3 characters with 3 different ages. 3 characters that move, behave differently, and have different stages of maturity. I was constantly blown away by Sam's dedication, hard work, and fantastic intuition. Credit where credit is due. Well, you all deserve fantastic credit, sir. Micro expression is 100% Sam's nuanced choices. Well, Sam is a goddamn genius.
Yeah, one of the best Sith Jedi of all time. Honestly, I've said that for a long time now.
Yeah.
I'll reiterate, Mr. Carlos, what I said in this particular scene, where he's looking at Robin Curtis as is Savick? Yes, maybe. There. And just the level of I see all the layers in the eyes, which I recognize from the movies. It's beyond just the emotive at the end of losing his friend. This is something new. This is, oh my God, my best friend has a son and he's there and he's grown, he's happy and he's with you and you're happy, for a Vulcan. I can see the happiness, right?
Those are super micro expressions on Vulcan's face.
Which is amazing. Yeah, the fact that this I mean, for me, this is the moment where it's like that acting is so real. Yeah. Yet nothing there was real. So that is art plus artistry plus simplicity. You don't need fancy camera work, you just need something clean, simple, and of course to be able to, I mean, that's honestly a masterclass of the stop there, and a moment can say 1,000 dialogue lines.
Yeah. Because
that is saying so much with nothing in the script, which they learned wonderfully. I mean, they all memorized their lines super well for this piece. They really did a good job.
All right, just realized.
Yeah.
We should have been using the different Elcars this whole time. We should have been using the movie era, just because. Are you going to swap it?
What?
Because that'd be cool.
Who? What? Yor! Oh mighty Yor! Could you transcend the temporal timelines, Lal? I'm not buying time. Could you send us the Elcars of your appropriate era? While the hard drive spins up. The mighty era Elcars to facilitate the glory that is. There we go.
Well, it doesn't matter because this time is irrelevant with this kind of thing. So, but still,
time is double, so.
I do prefer the look of the movie era. So,
you are a sucker for that, yes.
Yep.
And I'm a sucker see if uniforms connected. So, TNG season 1 of that is like, yes, give me more.
Carlos says to pick acting takes from Sam, Lawrence, and Robin was really difficult during the editing stages, especially in the Kirk Spock scene. Took weeks.
Yeah, because you're not just going to film one take. You must have thoroughly more coverage than you need. But yeah.
And we got Sam Witwer right away. Carlos, congratulations, fantastic work. And then Leonidas. I witnessed Carlos on set and off making micro decisions himself, splitting hairs on his approach for the fans. And it inspired me to follow suit with the approach of capturing these frames.
Oh, I would love to know what you're going to tell us, but some examples of some micro decisions. Because it's such a simple piece, but it's elegantly crafted, so I wonder what those little things were.
Yeah.
Because anything like this sort of should be storyboarded quite well. But also if it can be live on set, then I kind of some spontaneity. Like, obviously, all three of you can answer this. Were there angles of Sam as Kirk that you knew going in were going to be that angle was going to do the effect best? Or are you at a stage where you do not need to worry about that for the most part, and you can just play as if Sam as Kirk was acting as Kirk and not think about digital? Because I know, there are better angles, whatever. Like, is the effect so malleable that you could just shoot? So I certainly have angles I can't do with my de-aging that do not work so well.
Yeah. Sam Witwer says, as I said, Carlos brought so much heart to this. Huge, huge courage to put so much of his personal journey into the work.
Yeah. Well, we wanted to see, potentially.
And Classic for Real throws in $2 and says, A+ for Carlos.
Yeah.
And Carlos says, basically, Leo is saying, I was driving Leo Sam crazy. They are being polite.
Ah.
But when you work with people this gifted behind the cameras and as performers, every decision was very important.
Yeah.
Well, I got to say, as a huge Trek fan, I really appreciate all of you guys and all the effort and time you put into this, and talent and skill. Like, you guys are amazing. So Thank you. And thank you for being here to talk with us about it, because that means a lot. It really does.
Yeah, we've been here for years doing this stuff for you. You know, we love seeing Terran Talos jump into Picard Live or Mighty Man, or it does happen sometimes. Lovely. But yeah, so to do this and have you guys react to, and, you know, but when you know you make cool stuff, it's nice to go out and hear some stuff. But when you make good stuff, it's not, you know. Right, so when's Unification 2? Unification 3? Because you know we want more now. You know this is no longer this. You know, you've opened that door of, well, damn. You know.
I mean, Sam Witwer says one of my favorite things Carlos said. We're still waiting, but I love that I'm actually voicing Sam Witwer. I'm reading what he's saying. That's weird. I can't do it like you. So
me, he does.
No,
do,
like
does
like
do
the other Sam.
There, you can always do a Emperor Palpatine. This is Sam Witwer playing Palpatine, or Darth Maul, whereas because he's all those things. He's many Sith and many mean people. I don't think he's Jar Jar though. Too many things. Reunification, yeah. Oh yeah. Oh, because it's because gosh, if this is the it's annoying because this is the prologue piece. You know, we talked about earlier how it feels like the piece, but if it's the prologue piece, then certainly having this. Well, this is oh god, if it's presuming Nemesis era. I mean, if you could bring back, if you could have a scene where you, as Kirk in Generations Age, talking to Patrick Stewart as de-aged Picard, and having them share a drink at 10 Ford, a bar that was built for Picard Season 3, or on a LED wall stage as you have, and have the you know, especially given that Picard died and came back, I would imagine that Picard, a Soong clone body man person, would want to talk to Kirk, brought back a live man clone person, whatever, Genesis 2 man. That would be a scene. Let's see a de-aged Picard talking to this version of shit.
Well, let's hear what Sam wants to say here.
Okay.
We put all this work into nailing Shatner's silhouette and physical characteristics to serve the shot, and sometimes it took a lot. Carlos goes, okay, hold still, and within that 2% of freedom, that tiny sliver, just do whatever you want. I laughed hard.
Yeah, I also give very spirited directions to my actors as well. It's like we 37% more intense, or assume you've had a giant. You know, my favorite direction I've said to you before, Stuart, is imagine a black void with nothingness. And that next line, like, feel that void inside, and I was like, okay,
yeah.
What that mean, I'm not sure, but do it. You know what you do it. It was great.
Mark Lawrence throws in $5.
Love you, Mark.
I've got to just say thanks to the OTOY team. In the words of Tech Sergeant Chen, that was a hell of a thing.
Grathar's hammer, what a short. Yeah, eh?
Casual Trekker, $10. Yeah. With the inclusion of Yor and the consoles from Season 3 of Picard, and this screams that it was brought to the Kelvin timeline after Future Tech revived him to see his friend prior to Beyond. Yor is not needed.
Oh. Okay. Interesting. So maybe they negotiated with the Federation to deliver him to Kelvin time to reanimate, and then brought back again to then travel back again. That seems a little bit confusing, but that's okay.
Carlos says, my research on Star Trek started during the first piece of 765874 back in early 2022. The last 2 years, it was catching up on to the shows, films, and seeing what worked and what didn't.
And there are some that work.
Yeah.
The fan, you know, the big ones are the big ones for a reason.
Leonidas says, I also shot a portion of Section 31 and worked as a cam operator on Picard Season 1 and was working with the original material. It was a fun circle moment. There was so much love with these projects.
I will admit, because Season 1 has a lot of beautiful shots. It's definitely a well-shot season.
Carlos goes on to say, I love Sam. Aw.
Don't think it's me, Sam.
No, oh no. Oh, okay. It'll be the 2% comment for life. And Sam Whitwer says, within that 2% of freedom, just keep it loose, do whatever, don't worry about it. Recurring joke. It was very funny.
See, the problem with this, I feel like we should have all these people on a Zoom call right now. I feel like, Stuart, they all need to have a reunited moment. That's what I feel like, Stuart.
We would love to have him come on and talk about it. So if we can arrange it, absolutely. Not right now, but
I know.
Soon.
But imagine if they all jumped on a Zoom link right now and could all say like a sentence about the piece. Wouldn't that be crazy? I haven't got anything planned, of course.
But we're not forcing anybody to do it.
No, of course not. Wouldn't that be amazing? We should
all
follow us on Twitter so we could talk to you about it. Hint,
yes.
Hint, Carlos. Hint, hint.
Yes.
Hint, hint,
Leonidas says,
Sammy
P.S.
Rhodes.
guys, I have a photo of you two from set I need to give you. So there you go. Sam and Carlos.
Us for a second, I was very excited. We were on set?
I was excited too for a second, but... And Sam Whitwer says, give Leo, you brilliant, beautiful man. Leonidas has to go. It was an honor, everyone. Thank you. It was an honor for us. Thank you for joining us.
Indeed, a very lovely add-on to a lovely piece.
I hope we'll talk in person or via video call at some point. That would be awesome.
Leonidas, do you want to go on Trekyards? Say yes. At some point.
He's got to go. He's probably
I know.
left.
But sound off, people. Talk about Trekyards. Would you want to come on, yes or no? Oh. There's the comment. There's the comment. Do you want to talk about this some more? So many comments.
If Kirk is alive, could he be an android now, like Picard? Did he retrieve Spock's Katra from New
Oh,
York?
that's a can of worms. Carlos. Yeah, but things patience is only when you know the art's going to be amazing. You know, you can take a lot of shit if you know the end piece is going to be excellent. I'd love to have seen the original like test footage of this to prove they could, you know, to show what could be done and then what they will do. Because here's another slide. Which, as I said to you earlier, this is the sort of thing that alludes to a billion more things. Because, you know, look at this. You've got a TOS bridge with a TOS Kirk, a TOS Scotty, and TOS the Cage Lady. And a green screen shot of a TOS Kirk. Which, if that's the face, that's an incredible pre-face face.
And Yeoman Colt on the TOS, refit bridge.
Mm-hmm.
Star Trek 6 bridge in the Cage uniform.
Well, these costumes take a lot of money.
She's the key to this.
Ah, Carlos. Well, yes. Let's do that then. We're obviously the home of that sort of content.
Yeah, it's kind of our jam.
Yeah, and like I say, face work is definitely my jam when it comes to CG work.
Yeah. Talk amongst yourselves. Figure out if you guys want to come on. We would really appreciate it. And I'm sure the fans of the channel would as well, or the people of YouTube.
Because, you know, often every single person in the process in this sort of thing is an artist and an excellence. And they should all have a conversation. That's why it always annoys me when you always talk about actors, although of course actors in the room. But it's like, yes, and clear it's collaborative. Like every single person is important to the process because, you know, just people who design the facial capture work and all this very clever stuff. Yeah, where are these screen caps from? You know,
look at that, Eric, says William J. Sam said Carlos worked on Star Wars, so we bridged universes. Leo made this piece gorgeous.
Huh. Yeah. Oh, yeah, so Sam, if you technically now worked... I mean, it's licensed, if it's not canon. So you've now worked on Star Wars, Star Trek, and BSG, licensed. I don't know if you're Canadian to work on Stargate back in the day. I don't think you were around then at that point. That would have been a hell of a thing.
Carlos says, you were so right, Sam. Didn't realize until now we were both Star Wars and Star Trek. We are here, too.
Where's my lightsabers? Well,
yeah, I got a bunch of lightsabers upstairs. We cover Star Wars stuff all the time, so.
Yep. Obi-Wan high-end replica.
Oh, nice. Just throw it on the floor. Yep.
No, on my chair, and then Rathacon high-end replica. I mean, you know, 1 second from each other. And my TOS trousers, high-end well, no, not really.
Anyway.
And you've, Stuart, you've got the Monster Maroon jacket
Vest.
variant. Yeah.
Yeah.
So besides us, we can do all the different things, can't we?
Yeah.
Crazy. Oh, darn. Aha. Yeah.
Be careful about showing your lightsabers on YouTube.
Oh dear. I have very expensive Obi-Wan boots. They're amazing. They're in that box right there. Love them.
B91 says, I would love to hear what Shatner looks or books Sam listened to that helped him with his Kirk micro-expressions.
That's a very interesting way of phrasing that.
Carlos says, I will say this. I found a profound sensibility in the world of Star Trek, not too far from 2001, and that's always exciting. Yeah,
there's a reason it's smaller than Star Wars because Star Wars expanded in a way that it grabbed all ages, but Star Trek is, you know, the more cerebral of the two. But
cleaner.
But it you know, it hits at the heartstrings in a way that you can, you know, the small moments. There's more small moments in Trek, also more moments in Trek. You know, I mean, how many people cried at losing Spock, at losing the Enterprise, any of them. Oh dear. You know, I mean, Millennium Falcon, if it crashed, you'd feel the gut punch. But you know, in the cinema, watching...
It does crash. In Solo, a Star Wars story, it crashes onto the beach.
But I mean, actually, the death blow, the actual destruction crash, right? But seeing in Star Trek 3, the you know the tin the what was it the metal wool like burn, and that was how they did the explosion of the Enterprise, you know, burn away like
steel wool. Yeah.
Steel wool, yeah. Seeing that. I mean, it's emotive as hell, and then seeing Picard in season 3, you know, with his son, and then Enterprise D. I mean, these are, you know, true emotive masterclasses that are 60 years in the build, and you know, we've talked about Kirk many a time, but he's been beyond undersung in the last decade, and Shatner is still alive, still doing a lot, still excited about stuff. I mean, you know, I've met him several times, and he's definitely more into Star Trek than he used in, you know, the last 10 years he was in the previous, you know.
Well, Carlos has to go. He says, I have to jump to another meeting myself as well. This is such a great discussion. I feel like a forever Star Trek student. Thank you all for having me here. Thank you for joining us. And if you want to learn about Star Trek, this is the channel. We talk about all Star Trek.
Yeah.
I've been for 10 years, so thank you for joining us.
Yeah, look for a ship or Google a ship, and we've probably talked about it, and we do our bit. And we talked about the Generations piece, which obviously you shot, and the amazing Spock. We talked about 2 of the previous pieces.
Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah, really, really wonderful stuff. I use OTOY, like I say, to make my Trek art, so it's yes.
Thank you, Carlos, for being here.
Yeah. Well done. You know, well done. Amazing stuff. But yeah, these images, like I say, the unused, and we've got the JJ versions of the Cole lady holding the box. You've got this amazing stuff at Six Bridge with Shatner with a tie on. Confuses me greatly. What is this? Is this really?
I don't think that's a tie. I think that's just part of the shirt.
Wow. But what?
It's still confusing.
Yeah, but is that Robin Curtis playing young Savick in full uniform next to other people? What is this scene? This is amazing looking. And that's a really good Spock. Why did they shoot just for fun? That's so much work went into that. They've also talked about...
Those are probably tests, honestly.
Yeah, but that's a lot of... I mean, you know, if each uniform's a couple, you know, a grand or 2 or 3, and then, you know... you also got this amazing shot, which is shown in other things, I think, here or there. They postulated that Spock and Savick got married, hence the, I don't know, bonus feels. And there's a shot of them in full costumes again. New costumes. You don't just do tests with full costumes that cost lots to make, and all the set pieces. You know?
Yeah. DUI Champ throws in $10, so thank you so much.
Thank you.
Hey guys, former skeleton Star Trek Strange New Worlds #1 fan here. Just getting home. Where are all these new picks from? What's the significance of Gary Mitchell and Yeoman Colt in this short? Well, you missed the whole thing. I suggest going back and watching from the beginning because we had the director and the cinematographer and Sam
Whitwer,
the guy who played Kirk. Yep, they've all been here and talked about things, so check it out.
We've had no spoilers yet.
It's supposed to be a mystery. You're supposed to speculate.
Yeah.
Think and wonder.
And definitely wonder. Just the fact that it was done is in itself a wonder.
Yeah.
But you know what I mean? I mean, what do you feel about this? The Spock Savick wedding, maybe.
It's cool. You want to see it?
Yeah.
It's that simple.
And this is one of those things that is triply interesting, in that if the original plan was done, it would have been Savick that was Laris. Laris? No. In Star Trek 6.
Valeris.
Valeris. That was originally the plan, right? And they went back to that. You've always been against it. I've always found it an interesting idea. This thing wouldn't have worked.
It would have been good as long as she wasn't a traitor.
Well, that's what I mean. As it was. So this would only work without that. Robin Curtis expressed in her interview that she very, very expressed. It was a really heartwarming bit that she expressed, that when she put on the makeup, she realised, and this we wish all our heroes is to have a nice, happy life, unlike a lot of media where they do not, and that's part of the storytelling to bring them back. That she felt Savick had a nice, happy life. She felt that being the makeup and in the costume, and that she felt honoured and lifted up by the fact that this person she brought life had a nice life, and that was really stirring. That was wonderful.
And Sam Whitwer says Star Trek would not have succeeded without Shatner. The Cage proves this. Hunter was wonderful, but Shatner had the missing humor, wonder, and fun. Yeah.
I like. Oh yeah.
Eric Martin, member for 24 months at the rank of captain. Any non-Kurtzman Trek has my vote. Kind of hard to tell what's happening, but great sentimental journey and amazing visuals. Again, I'd suggest go watching this from the beginning, Eric. I think you'll get a lot out of this live. So.
And I want to say as well, I watched a video of Sam about him, where he expressed that he understood the George Lucas vision of Star Wars, because he was in Star Wars in many places, years after, and he just expressed about Shatner and the Cage. It's really nice. I knew he was a Trek fan anyway, but he kind of gets the OG, gold dust of what made something, because to hear him express about George and how there's more artistry than we all took for granted. It isn't just the visuals or even the dialogue, it's all these layers that you actually have to understand it, you have to look for it and try and get the reason. And he had a very eloquent speech, and he's always a very big proponent of that, and I always commend that, because those films are good in their own way, of course, and George is definitely an artist, even if he's made some odd choices. But if there's a reason, I'm always fine with odd choices if there's a reason, and you just need to know the reason. And he's eloquent talk about that.
All right, guys, I think we're going to wind it down here, but 182 likes. If we can get a few more, would be awesome. I'd love to get as close to 200 as possible, so hit the like button. We'll probably end out this poll.
Yes.
So would you pay for OTOY to make more short films like this, supporting their new regular content? The winner is at 48%. Well, yeah, 48% is I do a subscription, $5 a month. Second place is I do a subscription, $20 a month. And third place is I'd buy a set one time, $25 at 17%. So there you go.
Makes sense.
OTOY, if you're watching.
Yes. We'd love to talk to the entire team. Like I say, Sam Whitmer on Twitter. Send me a message. We'd love to chat Trek Wars BSG. I have that uniform in that box as well. God damn, I have a BSG uniform in that box as well. Not getting that out. That will ruin the room. Yeah. No, amazing. And like I said, this is, and as Sam vaguely said, this is this could be it. Or this could be the start of something. I mean, hey, this is a Star Trek 7th anniversary. When's Star Trek 6th anniversary? Maybe there's something been filmed for that. Right? Oh, Star Trek 6, mate. I know, 1. Okay, a little way from that.
And Eric says he will watch from the beginning. He's been working a lot, so he missed it. Yeah, go check it out. I think you'll enjoy it.
Hardly an excuse.
You'll learn quite a few things.
Yeah, no, this is a gift. And boy, CG faces. Because some of these shots are just, they're there. Because, you know, I mean, I think this is the first team that's ever done makeup plus CG. Because it normally is a full CG face.
Yeah.
And there's tracking markers, there's reconstruction, there's de-aging, there's putting on someone's face. All these different things, and it all has different problems. And in fact, the chap that apparently was here for a few minutes earlier, he was a guy that did the Luke version 2 deepfake on top of a CG model, if I'm correct, for The Mandalorian Season 1, which was a wonderful version but had some flaws, of course. Season 2, they improved it radically. That's a Mandalorian. Was it Book of Boba Fett? Book of Boba Fett. Astoundingly good CG face, and by having, and that also might be an inspiration, having a CGI model be the baseline, and then you deepfake on top of that, so you get the best of both worlds. And so this is kind of like taking that one step further, of doing a real face with makeup, which limits your performance, but there's a lot more there, and then adding on top of that the CG to kind of, I mean, it's super interesting. And as you said earlier, full CG face removes the actor a lot. This, with an actor who actually, you know, absorbs himself and brings the absolute nuance. So some of these moments are just shockingly nuanced.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I don't know how many takes I have to do to try and capture it. You know, that's the possibly the way tech is moving. That kind of both approach, find the right actor and yeah. God.
Classic for real member for 19 months at the rank of lieutenant. So just a reminder, I've been having a $5 a month subscription for 19 months now. Thank you. We appreciate that immensely, more than you know.
We've loved you for 19.5 months.
And Sam Whitworth says, you guys are fantastic. I'm a big fan. Thanks for welcoming me. Well, thanks for coming. If you see us at a convention, please say hi.
See us.
Hey, it's the Trekyards guys. And we'd be like...
If he's walking the floor and not being swarmed, I notice it's us, yeah. Uh-huh. Yeah.
But thank you for joining us, and thank you for watching the content. We really appreciate that.
What's been your favourite Trekyards video? No. We've sung his praises.
We do this every time.
We've sung his praises for 2 hours. If there's a video that you can think of that he's enjoyed of us, you know what?
Just say one of my captain's lines.
Don't say one of his captain's lines. They are great, though. Is there anything you enjoyed of us over the last however long you've been? Probably 10 years, Stuart. I'm guessing Sam's been a day one fan. He saw the Phoenix episode, he's like, yes, this is for me. And he's always been subscribed. Don't think that's true. Yeah, just if you have something, that would be nice to hear. Because we can gush over bloody Force Awakens a lot. Force Unleashed a lot.
Force Unleashed, yes.
Crazy good first game.
And Scottish Nightmare is calling out Classic for real, saying only 19 months, rookie.
Not I'm trying to shill because I'm not sponsored, but also X06 just revealed a Cage Spock that you can pre-order right now, limited to 500. And they still have some up. It is a Cage Spock. Putting it in the chat if anyone wants a Cage Spock.
Nice. I
wasn't necessarily going to get it, but I thought, you know what? I want the props because I want to have a display of all the. It's dumb, but all the phases. Have all the phases in real life. So I want one of the uniforms, Stuart. You know, my future will have just a line of all the uniforms. I love the uniforms so much. So I've got one of the 500 of Cage Spock with insane eyebrows.
Perfect.
Yeah.
And on that note, I think we will go.
Well, give Sam a second.
Well, he's left already, clearly.
Another second. But in a second, Jess.
One. All right.
Stuart, what's your plan? No, you're busy tomorrow. You're busy tomorrow. Thursday, we're doing for your first reaction for Lower Decks.
Yep.
Friday, our full review.
Yep.
I'm actually here this weekend for once. What's the new ship content? Hopefully there is.
We'll need to film tomorrow morning, so.
Yeah.
Eric Martin, $5. You guys rock, even if I missed most of it. Well, thank you, Eric. Much appreciated.
Now, are you watching us on your giant TV, or are you watching us on your phone? Because it's a big disparity.
Probably his giant TV would be my guess.
I still wish I'd remembered more than 1 minute before we left to see how that'd work as an LED wall, but I entirely forgot. Don't think it was going to work necessarily, but that's okay. It'd be fun to... I went to my the kind of Best Buy and said, "Hi, what's the biggest TV you have?"
Why don't you just go to Best Buy? Sylvia works there.
Well, got to ship it to my house then, because one of the people in England does do that. Although it's funny, he did the LED wall. He bought a really crappy big TV. We just had to rotoscope out the edges for most shots because if I had to come out for 1 second, it kind of ruined it. So you had to match the CG to the picture as a whole thing.
They have a 98-inch TV at the Best Buy near us, and then they're coming out with a 118-inch as well. So I think it's is it Samsung? I can't remember the brand, but
what's the size you have for a TV?
Mine's only a 65.
So 40 inches bigger.
Yeah, it's huge.
It's
huge.
Yeah, slightly mad.
Oh, he is watching us from his phone.
Although there's way more pixels, dense pixels in that phone than on your TV, which is not a no. You've got to can count every pixel. That's okay. But yes,
right, guys.
yes, fine, Stu. That's okay. It's okay.
Thank you for watching. Thank you for joining us. Thank you to everybody that worked on this project stopping by. That is fantastic.
Yes.
And it added some extra layers to this live, which we really appreciate. So
yeah, we got to gush, but one of the nice times when everything we said was super true, because this is excellent. And Dave Blass, we love Dave. We love Dave. He could have told us about this in Vegas.
Didn't.
NDA still hold weight. Good. But had he said, that Kirk guy, wink, wink, he's coming back. What? Nope. All the secrets be kept.
Yeah.
That's okay.
All right, guys. We'll see you later. See me on Thursday. See us both on Friday.
Yes.
Until then, he's Commander Cockings.
He is Captain Foley.
And thank you guys for watching. We appreciate you.
Thanks for...
Bye, everybody. Oh. Sam's still here. When I became involved with OTOY, I saw an opportunity for actors to really claim this space. The tech has already arrived, but actors need to take the driver's seat for this work. I'll tell you why. I wanted to know what you guys thought. You guys are ruthless. I respect that. That's a high compliment. Thank you so much, sir.
Well, we've heard that from Lower Decks creator and showrunner Mighty Man. When they do a ship, they're like, "Well, we have to know what Trekyards thinks because they'll say the thing and they'll notice."
His exact words were, "Trekyards holds us to task."
Yes,
which I thought was amazing.
Because balanced we try and be, as you know, Stuart. And
yes,
but that's the thing. When it's that good, it's important. I wouldn't say we're ruthless though. That's quite a.
Well, if we don't like something, we say it.
But only a Sith deals in absolutes.
Ooh, beautiful.
All right. Ruthless there, just detail orientated and very, I'll admit I did, the Spock on the Viridian. I was like, oh, I can see the CGs.
We mentioned a few times in this one. There's a few ones that are just kind of off.
Little bit of floating head, but God, that TOS Kirk and that movie, that's the nuance of TOS Kirk is insane. I hope there's more of him, which is a ridiculous thing to say because he's not been alive for 60 years, but okay.
Yes, Mark Lawrence. Maybe that weird stare you got from Dave Blass was because he wanted to tell you about it. Maybe. Thank you.
That was your subliminal messaging of, I'm bringing back Kirk, I'm bringing back Kirk.
He's trying to send thoughts to my brain, and I was just like, duh.
Hey, it's your fault you didn't catch the Kirk's coming back. Play by Stark.
Anyway, guys.
Actually, I don't know if you saw it. I mean, why would you see? But so it's just amusing because I really like Sam as an actor. And just when Dave put on Twitter, he told it was Sam. I was like, oh my God, Sam, I love that guy. It's like, yeah, that's really cool. What was my quote? Yeah, wait, Sam did this? Love him. That's incredible. I know that Dave liked that. It was just yeah, because I'm like, that's cool.
Well, Sam loves us too.
Because he's a bloody nerd. And in fact, I will share that picture I did because that's a really clear view of Sam as Kirk, as TOS Kirk. That's actually a really good shot that Dave posted, which they need to post more of. Because this feels like a low makeup picture.
Wowzers.
And I'm sure that's colours or what, because I don't know if you've seen this picture, Stuart, but it's really interesting because
I haven't yet.
different costume colour to the final, always doing grade, awesome, that's how you do it. But there's not a lot of makeup on that face. That's just Sam having a bloody good time in a TOS uniform that we all have and super fun.
Yeah.
But that's, I love the hair as well. The hair is such a good version. That's a lot of CG because there's not a lot of prosthetics in that version anyway.
Amazing.
Living the dream, eh?
Dreaming to live. 3 more likes to get to 200. Come on. 3 people.
Yeah.
Anyway,
we loved it.
Go.
Thanks for joining us. And do you stay for 2 hours? Over 2 hours. Yeah, a long walk with your dogs. Very, very thankful.
Gotta keep in shape, man.
So to play Kirk again in the sequel, yeah.
Yep.
Yep. Canon.
Can I finally say goodbye now?
Yes.
So until next time, guys, he's Commander Cockings.
He's Captain Foley. He's Sam Witwer. He's Leonidas Gibrino. And he's...
Carlos.
Carlos.
And
from us
John.
all.
What's the other guy? John?
Yes.
Yeah.
The face guy.
You guys are all awesome.
Yes.
Thank
Make
you for
more.
watching.
Bye, guys.
We hit 200. Bye, guys.
Bye, guys.